Please ensure to limit your address to 5 minutes. The Council. The first person I will call forward is Karithka Vignarasa of the Australian Childcare Alliance. Would you please come forward to them? Oh, good. Thank you.
Good evening, Lord Mayor Wilson, Deputy Lord Mayor Garrard, councillors, Acting General Manager, senior staff, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Karthika Vignarasa. I'm on the board and immediate past Vice President of the Australian Childcare Alliance, New South Wales. Firstly, thank you for this opportunity to speak on behalf of a peak body for 1,600 childcare services across New South Wales, owned and run overwhelmingly by family-owned small businesses. Since the introduction of the New South Wales State Environmental Planning Policy, or SEP, for educational establishments and childcare facilities in August 2017, it is our opinion that this SEP has effectively removed all meaningful powers from local governments to regulate where new childcare centres and services ought to be. This removal of your powers has given rise to many new childcare services located in inappropriate locations on the basis of traffic, local amenity and safety, both for the children, staff, neighbours, as well as the general public. To best illustrate this, I refer to a new childcare centre at my local council, Cumberland Council, approved by their Independent Hearing and Assessment Panel, IHAP, at 49 Bombay Street, at the corner of Nicholas Street, Lidcombe. This new centre will have a maximum capacity of 56 children. Yet IHAP did not take into consideration how 56 children plus at least 12 staff would quickly and safely evacuate in the event of an emergency. The nearest suitable assembly area is Phillips Park, almost 3 blocks away. And while emergencies may be rare, this childcare centre must legally practice mass evacuations every 3 months. And given the increased traffic in the area due to the M4, how will this be done safely and without incident with 56 children as young as 0 to 5 years old in tow in possibly chaotic circumstances? Compounding this problem is that there exists no national or New South Wales requirement as to how quickly such a number of children must be evacuated to a safe place. The law and regulation only say that there must be a plan, not how quickly it must be completed. Ever since national and New South Wales laws and regulations removed all limits on the sizes of childcare services 6 years ago, the biggest childcare centre ever proposed for Australia is 556 children. In New South Wales, the largest so far are in Warrawee, 250 children, Brookvale, 212 children, Artarmon, 210 children, and Parramatta, 208 children, and Epping, 200 children, just to name a few. How quickly do you think they can evacuate all those children without a serious incident or injury? Whether it is 56 children or a few hundred children, it is no longer a question of if, but when it will happen in this LGA. We note Councillor Bob Dwyer's notice of motion and his concerns that Parramatta City Council and other councils have effectively been neutralised by the SEP. And yet, you remain blamed by local residents for the approval of childcare centres in inappropriate locations. For all councillors' consideration, it is safe to say that the entire early childhood education and care sector are united in our concerns about the future supply and location of early childhood services across New South Wales. Thank you for listening to me.
The first notice of motion I have is in the name of Councillor Dwyer, dealing with seconded Councillor Issa, dealing with childcare centres. Councillor Dwyer.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. I rise to move the motion in my name in relation to the childcare centres issue. I move, obviously, as written, as printed, that the Acting CEO write to the Secretary of the Department of Planning and Environment seeking support to amend the State Environmental Planning Policy, Educational Establishments and Childcare Facilities 2017 to allow Council to put in place local planning controls requiring developers to demonstrate genuine need or demand for childcare centres and or place limits on the proximity of childcare centres from one another. And further, that the Lord Mayor write to our local state members of parliament seeking their support to encourage the Minister for Planning to allow council to put in place such planning controls. Lord Mayor, obviously we've heard tonight from the representative of the Australian Childcare Allowance that since the introduction of the SEP in 2017, it's their opinion the SEP has effectively removed all meaningful powers from local governments to regulate where new childcare centres and services ought to be. The removal of the powers to council has given rise to many childcare services and centres located in inappropriate locations on the basis of traffic, local amenity and safety, both for the children themselves, staff, neighbours, as well as general public. Ever since national and New South Wales regulations removed all limits on the size of childcare centres 6 years ago, the biggest childcare centre, as the lady has spoke to us earlier, is 556 children. In New South Wales, the largest so far is 250 in Warrawee. Now, Lord Mayor, this is obviously some great concern to the residents of Parramatta LGA, in particular that the Alliance has made it clear in some of their publicity notices that there are too many childcare centres at the present time for the demand. Now, we all agree that we need childcare centres and they're an essential part of life today. But if we're going to effectively destroy residential areas by these are popping up anywhere they like because they are permissible developments, the issue is that the residents have to have some sort of protection and be taken into account. Now, Lord Mayor, I refer to our own childcare centre issue in 24 Murray Road, Carlingford, where there was to be a conciliation conference on this matter back in February. Now, about less than 12 hours before the conciliation conference was to be held, and there were some 20, 30 or more residents who came to the to the conciliation conference, and it was called off. They said no, the developer wasn't going to come, and he just referred it straight to the local to the Land Environment Court. So, of course, the residents are distressed over what's likely to happen in their area. There's a plan for a two-storey childcare centre of 58 children, at-grade car parking, 15 vehicles, associated landscaping. Now, the residents are not unreasonable to consider these things, but when the developer doesn't bother even coming along, he's obviously shown his hand of what he's doing. These people have bought into very attractive residential areas with very, attractive homes, which today are, valued at more than 1.2 million or thereabouts. And there's a lot of young people who've now bought into those areas, and they've got very high mortgages, and they thought they were buying into quiet residential streets. Now, all of a sudden, these poker machines come up out of everywhere because obviously they're permissible, and we've got, another childcare centre coming up. Now, there are other childcare centres planned. There's one at Northmead in Mary Street. There's one in Junction Road in Winston Hills, again, in very traditional residential homes. And they're in one particular one in Junction Road, they're planning to knock down a very attractive two-storey building to build a higher childcare centre with a lift in it and about a similar number of children, 50-odd. Apparently got to go up and down lifts. Again, what happens in fires? What happens in all this? So, Lord Mayor, I think council needs to have the power to defend our residents, to represent our residents. And when these powers are taken off us, these things are going to effectively destroy the fabric of some of the residential streets. And, you're going to be invaded by constant traffic coming to and from these places. And, we know these children need to be there, but there is safety issues, the traffic issues, the quietness and the residential amenity. That's 1 minute. As residential amenities being destroyed.
We'll need an extension. Moved, Councillor Jeffrey, seconded Councillor Zeta. All those in favour? All those against? Please continue, Councillor.
Have we got new rules tonight, Lord Mayor? I thought that was 1 minute ago. We've changed, have we?
1 minute too when I asked,
Yeah,
and they told
yeah.
me no.
Okay,
so I don't
now
know why we didn't
so
get
now
the
we know
warning.
it.
I don't know why our timer doesn't work.
Okay.
It's very
I
annoying.
understand. I just
appreciate
want to know what's going on. So, Lord Mayor, look, I'm here because I went to that conciliation meeting for Carlingford, and people were distressed there, and they asked, what's the likelihood? I said to these people, as much as anyone would like to object to this thing, it's going to go to the Land Environment Court, and more than likely it's permissible in the R2 zone, and obviously it'll get approved, and you'll be stuck with it. And, obviously their thing is to us, well, you're our representatives, what are you going to do about it? Well, we have no power anymore. We have nothing. And I think the message has to go out to our residents in our LGA. Councillors do not have any power to make decisions on these matters. We're barely able to act for our residents. All we can go along is to a conciliation conference, speak our mind, and then it still goes off the Land Environment Court. So, look, these childcare centres could pop up in my street tomorrow, could pop up in anyone's street tomorrow, and they're all going to get a little agitated. We need them, yes we do. If they're in inappropriate locations or, whatever, I think we need to have the powers to do so. So, Lord Mayor, I'm moving this motion to. I know the minister makes all these decisions, but we need to send the message to him that we need some protection. Thanks, Lord Mayor.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? There being no further discussion, I'll put that. All those in favour? All those against? I declare that carried. We now